What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Sunday live stream. How is everybody? Think people are. Oh yeah, we got people in here already. What is up? I went over to look at the live stream on YouTube. I see that we got crowns over here now. I Before anybody asked me, I have no idea. It is like a YouTube thing. They do it. I have no control over that. The only thing I do want to get into, let me see if I can pull it up over here. Members, really quick. I do want to thank the channel members. I have so much crap open. Gary Carnell, D Tolls, Mark Morales, B1062, Darwin Hooks, True Results, HTX, Brian, Chevy Runner, 88, Mark Harris, Rage Metal Freak, and I don't think I mentioned this one last time, but Lost But One. Appreciate you guys for being channel members. I appreciate you guys and all the support. What is up, Brian, Victor, Mike, Ethan, Kitchen Cowboy? What is up, everybody? You're gonna learn today. All right, all right. I think we got a good amount of people in here. Oh yeah, before I forget, today's live stream is sponsored by FASTSTAT, the HVAC wire extenders. I'm gonna have some videos coming very soon on more low voltage. So this is gonna be like troubleshooting. We're gonna have a troubleshooting video and then a FASTSTAT, how to use it, seeing it in action. And thanks again to them for sponsoring that series and this live stream. I already have the next sponsor lined up, and that's going to be a fun one too. Is just, more content for the channel. I've been doing like 3 videos a week, trying to keep up with that. And these kinds of sponsors help with that content. So I appreciate FASTSTAT again. If you guys haven't yet, check out FASTSTAT at your local supply house or go to their website, fast-stat.com. Lifetime warranty. If you ever have any issues with them, hit them up. They're the nicest people. It's a family-owned business. I love everything that they do. And if they stand behind their product, I got to give them props for that. Let me pull up the not the website, the YouTube over here so I can see everything. No, those are my parts for next week. Nope. Here we go. Hope everyone had a good, safe 4th weekend. What is up? Alex does HVAC, the youngest HVAC tech on social media. Alex does HVAC. 16, by the way. Already doing work out there. Install, service, trying to learn what he can. What is up, Calix? I think I got everybody in here. Morgan's Maintenance, what is up, man? Appreciate you for stopping in. What does everybody have going on this week? Man, I need to double check. I had some leak searches. Haven't been on call. I got some leak searches. I already got that taken care of. Oh, we have maintenance. We speaking of Morgan's Maintenance, we have maintenance. We just secured at least 3 more maintenance contracts. Some of them within the same place that we do business. Is just one of them Now wants the refrigeration included. So we're going to do all the walk-ins, all the make line coolers, small coolers, stuff like that. And then the other one wanted AC maintenance, and now they're going to add the ice machine maintenance. And then I have a whole bunch of hospital stuff to do. So we got plenty of work. You got, of course, Jason has some chiller repairs. Let's see if I can pull that up. Okay. Jason Johnson, magnetic bearing centrifugal chiller repair. Sounds fun. If I don't know if you record any of those kinds of repairs, but that'd be cool to see. Bunch of parts waiting at the shop. That's good to know. Good to see. Gonna be a good day tomorrow. Ordered a week and a half ago. I tried supplyhouse.com for the first time. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with or have used it. I have no affiliation with supplyhouse.com whatsoever. Normally I've used Partstown. What's the other one? All Points. And usually my dad, handles all that. He has, they're his accounts and all that. But I found a accumulator that I needed, and supplyhouse.com happened to have the exact one. I didn't have to do any changes. It was a like for like. So I was like, okay, cool. Because I literally had to stick, and I'll have the video soon, this accumulator in like the piping comes out the top, right? It feeds both on top, and it goes through the accumulator, comes out the top again. I literally had no space for error. It had to be the same exact one, and the piping had to be perfect and everything just to replace it, because it was leaking quite a bit. So I was on vacation. Oh, okay. Parts usually has. Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to. Partstown, usually I'm used to them being pretty quick. I used supplyhouse.com for the first time, and it's like, order right now or the next hour or two, whatever it was, and get it in a day. But I was like, it's probably like 2 days at the earliest. So I did it. I ordered on a Sunday. I meant to order on a Friday. I ordered on the Sunday. That accumulator didn't come until Thursday. I had to do that call on Friday. And I was like, what the hell? It was coming from like, I want to say it was coming from Dallas or something like that. And it made a pit stop in San Antonio, stayed there for a couple days, made a pit stop here locally, stayed there for a couple days. And I was like, dude, what is going on? So luckily they weren't rushing me, but it just sucked waiting essentially 4 days for it to be in in Texas when I usually get them next day. I like the all points closers. See, I deal with Johnstone, right? They'll tell me that they usually just use all point or Partstown anyway, and that's how they get it. So sometimes it's just easier for me to order it myself. All right, man. Later, Ethan. Tomorrow you're driving to San Antonio to pick up recovery cylinders, drive back to Austin and pick up additional parts that you're going to need. Tuesday, the recovery begins. Nice, man. That was the other thing that I was going to bring up is I hope everybody in the San Antonio area is doing okay. Hopefully none of the guys, watching this have been affected, but anybody that has been, there's been a huge flood going on. And it looks horrible. I'm nowhere near it. That's like 4 hours away from me, but They had the worst flood that they've had like in I don't know how long, and we are actually going on vacation the end of this coming week. We're going up there, but we're staying on the east on the east side, so we should be fine. But north of San Antonio, and I want to say it's like northwest, it is where the a lot of that flooding happened. Like cars wiped away, and 12 inches of rain. It's still raining over there, so it's been crazy. Oh, that's right, Austin too. Austin and San Antonio, those areas up there, and it looked crazy. And I was kind of checking because I have like a buddy in Houston and stuff, and I think they're fine. We have nothing. Hopefully, our trip, because I really want to take the kids up north and get away from work for a bit, and hopefully everything's good next week. Just it really sucks. Worst flood since 1987. I haven't looked up when the last bad one was, but yeah, it's been a long time. Is that what it was? A church camp? Like I had heard about it. Because this thing came in overnight, so it was like I think they were sleeping, which I mean it's horrible. What's up, Victor? Just chilling out. But yeah, we are fine. It's been sunny and dry over here, thank God. 36 feet in 45 minutes. Oh yeah, I had just heard about this too. They found two of them alive in a tree, basically 30 feet up. 448. If I'm working on a kitchen cooler box and there's no visible model number and no sight glass, how should I go about pressures? Has anybody here done like the non-invasive testing? I want to talk to Pat about that. Pat Finley, because I think he's been advocating for that. But yeah, you could, if I'm working on a kitchen cooler box, you're basically looking for your saturation temperature. So I mean, obviously clean coils, and then 448. I don't actually work with 448, so I don't even know what the pressures look like. But I can look it up real quick. R30. No, not that one. Walk in. Yeah, is it a walk in or a reach in? I'm just curious. I'm gonna like look up a pressure temperature chart. Let's see. Is that closer to like let's see. I'm gonna compare it to 404 because that's what I'm used to. Oh no, it's not. Pressures are lower than 404. It was within normal pressures for 448. Just wasn't sure. Cleaned up everything and was checking it out. I mean, just get used to what you see. If it's normal operation, um, then take note. I've done that on like anything that comes out. If it's a normal operation, take note of what the pressures are. It's gonna vary obviously because you know how that works with temperature. It looks like that's kind of closer to like an R22 type of deal. I mean, I can compare them all, but that's what I did with like what was the other one? R290. I did check pressures on one because I had to repair it, and I literally took screenshots of when we got it working so I could have an idea of what that looks like. Head pressure is higher. No. Head pressure is higher. Evap temps are about the same. No sight glass. I know, like for a walk-in, I even tell my guys too, because those never have a set pounds, right? Because it's depending on how long the line sit is and all that kind of stuff. A receiver, yeah, that too. So typically, you clear like if I'm just telling them how to get it started, clear the TXV, make sure that's not frosting up, and then clear the sight glass. And I like to add a little extra, and then you can also, I mean, if you want to go all the way out, it's 70% of like the receiver, but you got to pump it down, check it with a thermal imager or like like check the temperature on it, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's different ways. For what I work on, I kind of know the pounds already, so I go by that. But you go and superheat obviously. So that is yeah, torch on the receiver, not a necessity. Yeah, I only bring up the receiver because we've had callbacks from people that did not fully charge the system. They put in just enough where it's like, oh hey, it got cold. It hit 35 or whatever it was, and then outside it gets cold, and it's like, well, we get called out because they don't want to call the other company, and I'm like, you don't have I don't think you had a leak. I just don't think you had the full charge for these lower ambient temperatures, right? So for these lower ambient temperatures, but yeah, usually it's by the receiver, and obviously, like I said, superheat, subcool, all that kind of stuff. Side glass is nice when you can see what it's doing. Kitchen Cowboy got a buddy in Austin and San Antonio, still waiting to hear, but I have a feeling he is busy with the rescues. He's a Marine dog handler. Well, I hope he's doing good, man. I've seen what's going on. It's crazy out there. Hopefully everybody gets to safety. I know they're still dealing with rain, so I know they're probably clearing out the space again. Yeah, look up refrigerant, use temp as a guide. Usually you go by your saturation temperature and the basically the degree difference from the evaporator and what you are trying to hit. Ready for the work week. I'm working only a few days and then I get to go out on vacation. Headmaster needs at least 70% of receiver capacity. Yep. Used to get within 1 degree of set point, check superheat, pump it down, check the receiver. Yeah. If you want to be absolutely sure that you don't get a callback and that you charged it correctly, you installed it correctly, that's usually the way to go, right? Or if I do a big repair, we'll try and hit that, or if try to make time for all that, right? Like make sure you stay and it drops check your superheat, make sure that you're getting close to it, and then pump it down and check the receiver. I check it, honestly, I check it the whole time. I check it on startup. I check it when it's like warm. I check it when it's getting cool. I check it when it's close, and then I check it when it's like already hitting set point. And I did have one guy who tried to show me up because he wanted, I don't even know why he got called in, but and I've talked about him before, came in to as a second opinion because I kept telling them, fix your door on this walk-in freezer and you won't have any more moisture and icicles and all this frost everywhere on all the on all the shelving and stuff. It's like, fix your door, because then the door also creates ice around it, right? We have another one that's doing that. It creates ice around it, and then the door gets, the gap gets bigger and bigger because it won't close. But initially the door doesn't close, right? So I kept telling them, fix your door, fix your door. They have yet to fix the damn door, but I kept telling them, fix the door. No, it can't be the door. You know, we need you to make it work. I was like, well, I can't do anything else. I've already babied it. And you're getting about 8 degrees. Like, what else do you want me to do? They realistically only want 0 to 10. I was like, we're in there. Fix your door. So they got a second opinion. Some guy came in and he's like, no, you need the TXV, right? Because you always need the TXV. And installed it. I want to say he replaced the solenoid as well. Whatever. Then I get called back. Hey, this guy changed all these parts. It's worse. It's like 20 degrees. So then I go out there and the guy just didn't set the superheat. He relied on it to do it. And that's why I hate not staying, or my guys not staying to see what happens and to be checking. Personally, I like to check the superheat at all stages, like it warm, cool, and then when it satisfies, because you need to know what's going on. So that guy didn't stay, didn't wait it out. He just installed everything and expected it to work. He's like, that's your problem, right? Adrian doesn't know what he's doing. I'm going to put you a new TXV and you're good to go. No, I had to go back in. I had to check superheat. It was like way off. It was like 20 degrees at the evaporator. I was like, we're never going to get it. Had to dial it in, adjust it. Obviously, the door's still messed up, but we got it back under 10. And I was like, look, you didn't need the stupid TXV, and he didn't set it for you anyway. So after that, they didn't call him back anymore. And, we don't have to worry about any more people getting their hands on the equipment. Oh, I showed him pictures, Brian. I have a thermal imager. I am big on thermal imagers. And, I'm actually going to work with well, I can say it. I'm going to work with Testo pretty soon on some stuff. So they came to me asking me about thermal imagers, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a big believer in them. So much so that I use mine all the time. I gave all my guys one, and I need to, or I recommend it, right? So Brian, I went over there and I was like, look, your door, you can see it all blue all around it. And even to take it a step further, the AC in the back is completely disconnected. Like the duct that feeds that, it's like this little back area, and you have a walk-in cooler on your right, a walk-in cooler on your left, and then a freezer kind of in the corner. So oh yeah, we're talking about that one, Brian. So all those are in the same area, and I was like, let me look in your ceiling really quick. The duct is completely disconnected. And so the door being messed up, it being so hot in the back, it's never going to work properly. And all of that, I showed them about it. You know, I showed everything with a thermal imager because, yeah, they're the best. It's one of the, I feel like in today's day and age, it's one of the best tools to have because it's like, you know what's wrong with it, or you can tell from experience, but like, how can you show it? Or how can you verify? Because sometimes I just don't trust myself, and I pull it out and I'm like, okay, yes, we have leakage, we have a bad gasket, we have a bad door. There's a ton of stuff that I've used it for, like walk-in boxes that are super old and deteriorating, you know, being able to find, you know, the bad spots or the bad walls that are leaking, like all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's a tool that you should have nowadays. I forgot what it's called, but the cool thing is it on Testos it works with their app. And I know a lot of people love the app, and now they have a thermal imager that you can connect it directly to that app. And I want to say it does reports and everything that, you know, that app does. What don't they make? That's not expensive. Do you guys have any links with guides on refrigeration? Who has does AC Service Tech do that? The only thing I know of is a book. I don't know if I have it. The only thing I know is the book that they showed us at school, Commercial Refrigeration for Air Conditioning Technicians. Everybody recommends this one. As far as like online material, online material, I have no idea. I don't know if like Craig or anybody does specific refrigeration courses. Um, yeah, I'll let them know, Brian. HVAC school, okay. It's because I never know, because every time I see like a, or even look up something from HVAC school or from Craig, it's usually like AC related, right? So, but I'm pretty sure they do everything. If you go to their websites, like Craig has an incredible website. I'm sure HVAC school does too, where you can find all these categories that you need help in and kind of read up on it. He has, I even saw that he updated like all the calculators and everything that he uses. Oh yeah, that's a basic one, or yeah, modern. Uh, Modern refrigeration and air conditioning. But that, yeah, this is like if you want to go hard on the books, it's a big ass book that covers everything. And I'm glad that I have those. I kept reading those even after I finished my trade school. They're great. Yeah, I went on. I think I got all of them off Amazon. But like that, those are the books that they made us get for school, and they've been great. You don't water temps dropping rapidly. Chillers should be long running time, slower pace at dropping water temps. Yeah, I have no idea what he's talking about, but yeah, that book has a permanent spot in your van. I used to carry a milk crate with those books and some notepads of all my notes that I took. all the drawings, my manual J book, or all those manual books, and some of the notes that I would take to help me. And every now and then, I would go through them just to kind of refresh or look up something. And I barely took those out like a few years ago. Just didn't have the space. Love some EEVs. I forgot who brought it up, but they were like, why is it TXV, thermostatic expansion valve, but it's EEV for electronic expansion valve? And I was like, yeah, make it make sense. TXV, but now it's an EEV. It's not EXV. We'll find out. I installed it over the weekend, and we'll drive around with it. I think I still need to secure that mod box a little bit better, but as far as that adapter, it's on there. It's not coming off. And that's all I needed, because someone made a comment that because Milwaukee has that drawer that just came out, and I finally did see one at our Home Depot, and it's $250. I get it, it's expensive, but it's only on wheels. I was like, I don't need it, and that's why it costs more. If they had a version that did not have the wheels and the handle and everything, it would be cheaper. I don't know if it would be $99 cheap, because Klein keeps putting that one on sale. So it's originally $169 on sale for $99, which is crazy. But like if Milwaukee would make just more of the drawers and not just that one, I would have preferred that. But I didn't need it on wheels, so I'm gonna stick with the Klein. We'll stick it out. So all I needed is to mount that part, which is my PVC and seal tight and all that stuff. Just have it tucked away, and then like the drawer obviously has like wiring and different things that I do. So it's gonna work for me. I still got to figure out the rest of that back area, and once I do, I'll give you guys an update. I need the more of the 4 drawers. I am like, I think I have, how many do I have now? I have 3 drawers. I think I have one of each. And then I have a bunch of I have a couple of the Tough Built single drawers, because Milwaukee doesn't make that, and that fits perfectly in some of the spots that I got. What is up, everybody? What is up, D-Tools? Unkmeister. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'm still learning on superheat. Do you have any videos? What was I gonna do? No, I don't have anything yet. I mean, if you just look it up, I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch. Superheat, temp of suction, exiting evaporator minus saturation. Basically, so as far as like you're calling, yeah, superheat. It's just a difference, right, of the saturation from your pressure to the line temperature. Like it's a little bit more difficult depending on the like reach-ins. I'm not checking. I'm not going by superheat, because a lot of those, like those are like 134A is very low pressure. But like on a walk-in box, I'm looking, if you're checking at the compressor, it might be closer to 20. And if you check at the evaporator, the rule of thumb is 6 to 8. If it's a walk-in freezer, you want a 6 to 8 degree difference. And if it's a walk-in cooler, you want like it could be like an 8 to 12 degree difference. Obviously, if it's too high, it's not gonna work. You're starving, and if it's 0 to whatever, like under 5, it's flooded and it's going by. Either it's too much refrigerant or it's going by too quickly. Um, and you check it. Those numbers you only rely on those numbers when you're closer to set point. Like if it's a hot box, if it's warm, obviously it's going to be high, and as it cools, it's going to come down. Your superheat will come down, and you want to aim for those numbers when you are very close to um your set point. So like if you're like 15 or 20 degrees off, you can't panic at the superheat. You have to wait for it to cool and come down. That was one of the things that I had to learn right away. I was like, oh, we need this superheat. We need this. I was always about the superheat subcool. And then I was like, oh, wait, I got to wait for the system to even out, run for a bit, let it do its thing. And then when you're closer to set point, that's when you check. Let me go through the chat really quick. What digital? Still learning superheat. I need time to do these videos, but I have one like right now that's a low voltage series. I might try and maybe I'll try and speed them up because I was trying to, what do you call that? Have them play out over time, like once a month. But I'm doing the low voltage series. I'm doing a brazing series, and then maybe I can get into. I had wanted to do one for refrigeration, and again, I am not Ty Brenneman. I'm not Craig or Brian Orr, but I can tell you what I see in the field and what I tell my guys, or the advice I give. Like, look for this. You might see this. You might see that, and it's more realistic versus like textbook. And what I've been trying to do is like in the video that's coming out this week for that low voltage video, I actually have clips that I'm putting together that will be in the video where I say, oh, your contactor could be shorted. It could be your low voltage short. And a clip will play of me in the field actually finding and fixing that problem, and so on and so forth, right? Like everything I explain, I actually have now. I'm able to have like clips of it actually happening in the field, and that's kind of the video that I'm trying to put together, right? So again, I'm gonna do some brazing ones, and I'll get into refrigeration stuff soon. I mean, if that's something you guys want to see, I'll put it on the list, and we'll get into it. Digital is failing. Maybe we'll talk about that with Jake. I know he had a board that he had an issue with this past week, so maybe we'll talk about it on nights. I've had boards fail quite a bit. I kind of expect it now. And if I had to pick, I would prefer mechanical. But I love how easy it is to install digital. And I want to say Jake said the same thing, like, because he was dealing with like an inverter board. I'm dealing with these boards like on the IntelliGen or Equanet, right? And I'm like, they are great when they work. They are great when you install them. Easiest installs I've ever done. You don't have to do much wiring to these things, right? You put them in, you feed the transformer, or you feed the board, whatever it needs, and then you just pipe it in, and it'll communicate. It'll do its own thing. Just give them both their own circuit of power, and that's it. You don't have to do much. And it regulates. Electronic expansion valves are great. They keep up the superheat. They do what they need to. It's also your pump down valve, so you don't have to worry about installing a solenoid, anything like that. So I do love them, but like when they fail, like that whole system is out of commission until you can get another board. No more room in the van for pack out. I don't even have the tall van. I would be afraid because then I'm gonna fill that up. If I have more room, I'm filling it up. What is up, Modern Comfort? $513.8 is 1-for-1 on pressure and saturation temp. I've only come across one of those, but it was not working, so I didn't get to check. What is up, Luna J? Guillermo, I have a question. 27 and you have an interest in HVAC. Is it worth to have a career in HVAC? Is it a hard career to handle? I just recorded, I don't know if Alex is still in here. I just recorded with or talked to 16-year-old HVAC technician. And I asked him like, how hard is it for you to do this? Like, why do you do this? Why did you get into it? All this kind of stuff. And it's not a hard career to handle. It's a skill. You're going to learn a skill. You got to work with your hands. You got to be okay. Who was that? I think it was Josh Dent did like a this is what it's like type of video where he's like, you got to get sweaty, you got to get your hands dirty, you got to lift things, you got to do this. Like it's physically intensive. You're putting in AC systems. If you work on rooftops like I do, you got to rope up all your equipment. You got to carry things across a roof. You got to carry things across into a house. There's so many different physical aspects of it, and as long as you take care of yourself and you enjoy it, that's always the main thing. I don't know if you guys know Jeff Jadem over on Instagram. Super big, right? Picture perfect installer. His advice was always like, if you don't love it, get out. And I think you need to give it time. But yeah, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, it's gonna be miserable. That's with anything. Like if you don't like it, you're not gonna enjoy. If you don't enjoy what you do, you're not gonna like the work. But with that being said, if you get into it at any age, it is easy to get into. You can learn on the job. You can learn with those books that I showed. You can so many resources because everybody I ask now that is younger, their first instinct is to go to YouTube and type in how to do something. You can learn on YouTube. I mean, like we mentioned HVAC school, we mentioned AC service tech. It's super easy to learn it. So like all of that is easy. It's just like I think when I talked to Alex about it, he was some days are harder than others, and you kind of wake up like, why am I doing this? But then at the end of the day, you fix something or you install something or you solve a problem or whatever it is. You help a family get their cooling, get their heating. It's also just a very rewarding trade, and it is something that cannot be taken away from you. So many guys learn and maybe they have an issue. They can't get the pay that they want. They can't get the position that they want. You can take that skill and take it with you and find another job or do your own business or whatever it is. Like that skill cannot be taken away from you. The hardest part, like I said, is there is some physicality to it. Mentally, you got to make sure that you're ready to hustle when you start. And basically, when you start, you're working extra hard so that later on it can be easier. So I had those days. I stressed out, brought work home with me, all that, and I had to kind of divide it. Like I don't want it to interfere with any of my time at home. I don't want it to interfere with any family time. I don't want to take it out on my family when I get frustrated. So you do have to figure that kind of stuff out. But it's I like it because you can do so much with that skill. And it's like I said, it's hard, but especially if you find, these people on YouTube, these guys in the chat, like on Instagram or on here, it's a community. If you ever need any help, just reach out to somebody. If you're dealing with something, someone else has been through it. Um, all that kind of stuff. Mike, go through the electrical process from a walk-in, start at the thermostat and go from there. That would help a lot of people. Like explaining like the electrical like schematic or like troubleshooting. Cause I had a video, I just never posted it, and then I deleted because I never finished it. Of like when I walk up to a walk-in cooler, when I walk up to a freezer or cooler, whatever it is, this is where I start, and this is where what I look for. And I thought that would have been helpful, but I didn't like the way it was coming out. But this was like way like a couple years ago. And but yeah, I think was it Brian mentioned the schematics. That is what helped me is the schematic and the like you mentioned, like starting at the thermostat or wherever you want to kind of follow. Being able to follow it and be like, okay, it goes this is the power that you're supplying. It branches off here, branches off there. Your thermostat is a switch that is temperature triggered, temperature related, whatever. And the little the symbols too. Because I went to trade school, because I knew what the symbols meant, that helped me a lot too. So I mean, I've thought of that too, like doing a schematic type of deal and making sure people understand what these symbols mean when it's a rise, a close on rise, or whatever, and then it goes through your contactor coil, goes through the contactor. These are the safeties. If one of them trips, it's going to open. I mean, there's a lot of it that I can get into, and again, it would just be at its base, at the basics. But like you said, it might help people because there's people that are learning this on YouTube, learning it on their own time, and I could try to show like in the field. This is a kind of setup that I see. This is what you can find, different kinds of equipment, put some clips together and kind of do it that way. the old the old 8145 for the win. You only carry one grassland. I carry both just because if I can't fit something different like an 8145, then I'll put in a grassland for a failed one, just a like for like. Our company is forcing us to use a 9145 and I hate them. I laugh when they fail and I have to replace with another one. Um, is that yeah, is it pen or one of those? I still use mechanical on quite a bit of stuff. I know there's the other one. I can't think of the name right now. But I carry different. variety on my van. If and I still think mechanical works. Like if we're working on an older system, I'm probably still gonna use a mechanical or mechanical parts. I don't, and I just worked on two reach-in coolers, and I went in with a Ranco. I forget the model number. I went in with a Ranco Universal that's like a constant cut-in, and it has these two little screws. I might do like I have footage. I might do the video of showing like how to calibrate them. But I like those universal ones because it's a Ranco brand and it has two screws. One is like an altitude screw, and one is I think it's to make it colder. It's like the cut in. So you can adjust the cut in, make it colder or warmer. But the altitude screw, I've used that too because it can make your cut in and cut out warmer or colder. So I just make it every now and then. Like that one, I did have to make an adjustment. I'll do an adjustment every now and then. I would rather deal with that than trying to figure out how to make that digital. Because I know some people like to convert everything to digital with the Dixel controllers and all that. But I might not have the space to do it. They might need this done quickly. I don't want to run extra wires and all that kind of stuff. So I'm good. I carry a lot of mechanical parts in my van, and I'm okay with it. I'm gonna try. I'm looking at the comments. I'm trying to catch up. We'll probably close it out at the end of the hour. I don't want to keep you guys too long, but let me go through the comments real quick. Uh, they aren't that hard to troubleshoot. Getting better at schematics. I think you need to know schematics to be able. I've had to rewire so much equipment that I would have been SOL without a schematic or like even a basic one. Just knowing where stuff goes. YouTube University. A lot of trade schools have gone online. I also hear that a lot of trade schools just play our videos in class. It's weird. I've gotten so many comments or messages. I mean, where they're like, "Hey, my class played your video today," and I'm like, "Oh crap! I wonder which one it was." Because they're not all good. They're not all perfect. Yeah. Why am I? You wake up and you're like, "Why did I choose this career?" You gotta love it. I think Ty has a good video on the separation of low volt and high volt circuits. Yeah, Ty's everywhere. I think I don't know if he posts on his channel anymore. I think Craig and Brian Orr have already like taken them over to their channels to teach, which is great. It's a good resource. Have you worked on refrigeration rack systems? Me, I've worked on like, I guess what we would consider like mini rack systems because they were um like there's one that I had right before I started my channel, and it would have been a good one to record because the previous company just, I guess they just did not want to fix it, or they just weren't capable, or I don't know, they just weren't good. So the rack system I worked on had a semi-hermetic, and it was a 6 compressor layout, so 3 on top, 3 on the bottom. Kind of similar to I think what Chris Stevens sees, but I had a semi-hermetic in the middle, uh 3 or 4 scroll compressors because I had a walk-ins on the bottom, and then like a real mini one for like a small salad or salad bowl cooler or something like that. Like it just kept chilled plates. But all of those other ones fed like 2 make line coolers, like that, like where they keep the condiments and all that kind of stuff. So they weren't like feeding big equipment. They were feeding small equipment just a long ways away. And that was fun. That was like, if a condenser fan goes out, that whole system goes down. That whole those all those 6 compressors go down. Um, Cleaning that, making sure it's clean, and then every one of them had a leak. And they're all separate circuits, but they kept dumping in refrigerant, and I had to go there and I found the leaks at the mechanical pressure switches. So it had those like dual pressure switches, and damn near every one of them had a big leak on the little on the bottom of them. So I had to replace them all, and ton of work to get those back up working properly. I think we had a bunch of leaks in the TXVs, trying to get myself to fit in a small under counter cooler to replace those things. Yeah, those would have been good videos. That was way before, or right before. When someone retires, and that's why I like being, being out there and knowing the equipment, because you know it without a schematic. But yeah, if you have to start over, it sucks. NorCal Dave has the best wiring diagram for learning basic walk-in cooler and freezer schematics. Awesome. NorCal Dave, I don't I don't watch YouTube as much as I used to. I go back in and I'll binge certain people. I binged some Dave stuff the other day, man. That guy, he's that senior tech that knows all the tips and tricks, and knows how to just fix old equipment. And I love it because that's all that I used to see, is like the stuff that he works on and stuff. That's all that I used to work on. And that's like the stuff that I learned on. Now everybody buys new equipment because it's cheaper than getting it fixed. But yeah, Dave has some great videos. I didn't know he had a schematic video. I'll have to look it up and kind of check it out. Yeah, the little ones, like the true reach-ins where you have the 0 to 9 dial on the reach-in coolers and freezers, like the old school ones. Ranco makes a constant cut-in, and you can pick constant cut-in 37 or constant cut-in 41. It does a pretty good job at maintaining that temp. Well, Mike, the ones I see are 37 and 41. So I always try to get the constant cut-in 37 just in case. But the 41 has worked for me too. And then I dial in the adjustment screw just to make sure that we get 35 to 40, and it'll be good. Yeah, that is like north of us, like 4 hours north. I haven't had any issues down here. I hope everybody that's in that area, San Antonio and north of there, is doing good. We are taking a vacation east of there, but hopefully the weather dries up and all that. Sir Master of None, what is up, man? I know a guy fresh out of high school. He starts HVAC school next month. Thanks for sharing. Well, that's cool. That's awesome to hear. I was just talking with some young guys about basically I'm always like, why are you doing HVAC? How did you get into it? And it's cool to see because I didn't know about it, and it's something that I now love doing. I would be doing something similar if I wasn't doing this exactly, but um it's great. I didn't know about it. Nobody in school told me. Counselors didn't tell us. None of that. And I hope that everybody now that is posting on YouTube, Instagram, wherever, TikTok is a good one too. I hope everybody now that, with everybody posting their work and stuff, that it is getting out. And I've heard that it is making a difference because a lot of the kids are like, yeah, me, like I have friends that are are excited about it, or like they want to do it. So I'm like, that's awesome. More awareness is always good. SPMC. Not an HVAC guy, subbed for the veto content. I appreciate it. I try to keep up with that. Can you get a hold of your contact and see if they'll make an SPMC blackout that uses a sling strap? So the whole sling strap thing is like basically like any of the backpacks that come out now. I do think they are looking into, maybe, I don't know if it's the SPMC, but they are looking to add, and it wouldn't be much. I'll pitch it to them. It wouldn't be much to add those little pieces, right? Because then you can add a backpack strap or the sling strap, which is my favorite. I pushed as much as I could for that, and I told them it has to do this, has to do that, has to make sense, and thankfully they delivered. Um, I've seen that they're trying to see how far they can push the backpack attachments. So I'll let you know. But I will run it by them. I've been kind of busy. That reminds me, I need to get back to them about a few things. Yeah, I think that's a chef line, small rack system. I had honestly, I hadn't seen that before. I don't think, like with what I work on. The last time before that I had seen a rack system, which on that one I learned a lot by going in behind somebody and trying to fix everything. Yeah, Super Tech NorCal. I learned a lot by somebody else's mess. Before that, the other rack system I had seen was on a school. There was a school out in the middle of nowhere. We worked on a lot of their stuff, and they had a rack system. But at the time, I was working like with somebody, like somebody was training me, and that was another big learning curve. That was the first time I did like stainless steel soldering to copper and replacing a whole bunch of parts. And that thing was, I walked in there and I'm like, this is a huge walk-in, I want to say it was a freezer, multiple evaporator circuits, all that kind of stuff. I was like, I hadn't seen that before. Peer pressure due to friends. I mean, I have a similar story. I don't remember where I told it, but a friend of mine wanted to work for us and then found the school for us to go to, but he had my dad co-sign for his motorcycle, and then he disappeared. I was like, all right, ru- ruined my dad's credit. And then I was like, well, I'm signed up for the school. I'll still go. And here we are. Later, Jason, Brian, hope you guys are good. Yeah, get ready for the week. I don't want to keep everybody up late either. I don't know if you were leaving too. Refrigeration Devil. What should an HVAC helper or beginner get paid in their first year? Probably a little bit over minimum wage. You're not going to make high end pay in the beginning. I just spoke with somebody today that I recorded with about expectations on the pay, because everybody's always like, because on social media, everybody's like, get into HVAC. It's the best thing. It's, you get paid so much, you make so much money. It- my answer to that is eventually. Eventually you can make six figures. Eventually you can make a high salary. Eventually you can, if you put in the work. So I've always said I took a pay cut to go work in the trades. I made more at a grocery store that I had worked at for like a year, and I took a pay cut to get into the trades and learn it and earn a raise and, earn more money. And I had the benefit of my dad having a business, but I still had to get my contractor license, get everything in order for myself, because I now run, half of it. So you don't get paid a lot when you start. I mean, that's just a fact. And the upside is tremendous. If you are on time for work, you show initiative, you pick up quickly. That is the best thing, is if you just pick up quickly and you help, you're useful. Um, you can make quite a bit. Because I know somebody. Oh, he has employees, and he was saying they can ask whatever they want, but I'm gonna start them at a certain level, and if they show me that they can do everything that they said and that they would learn it, they're gonna get that pay that they want. Me personally, we have new guys that came in, and they did a late career change, so they're making less than what they made at their previous job, but they've been so damn good that now I'm like, okay, we can talk about your pay because I don't want to lose you. So that's the whole thing, is make sure that you pick it up, you show initiative, you hustle, just show them that you want to be there and that you are learning quickly, and they should not hesitate. If you want to bring it up, or they might just give you a raise, if it's worth it to them, you're going to get that pay. It is, and that was another thing we talked about. Like, finding good technicians is so hard. And I've always said, unfortunately, just a little bit of effort, just a little bit of effort can make you, or can be the difference of you being, one of the lower end technicians, and you being one of the great technicians or installers or whatever it is. Just a little bit of effort. And that's what'll help you get that pay quicker, but you're not going to get it. Nobody's going to hand it to you. That's the only thing. But you learn a skill, you eat for life. You have that, you can take that anywhere with you. And if they don't want to pay you, go to the next company, right? Like, get your experience. If you don't like the pay, you don't like the company, that's a skill that you learn, you take it with you, and go to the next company. What is up, Nasty? Just a little bit late. We're going to close it out already. I appreciate everybody for coming out and hanging out with me. I hope you guys have a great week. Stay safe out there. Stay hydrated. I hope everybody that's up in North Texas is doing well and not affected by the flood or too much. Knowledge is power. Yes, make sure you keep learning. I appreciate FASTSTAT for sponsoring the live stream. We will see you guys next week. I'm going to close out the show. See you guys.